This is the 10th Minibytes session, so welcome to NES Digital's 21 in 21 series. We are calling them Minibytes because it's 21 minutes of CPD at a lunchtime, so it's mini bite-sized chunks of learning. Today we're looking at creating live online interactive newsletters, and it could be any other document as well, using Microsoft Sway. This is brought to you by North Yorkshire Schools ICT. Which I'm the EdTech advisor for North Yorkshire ICT, Schools ICT, and they also provide network managers and hardware and software solutions too. And it's administered by NES, which is North Yorkshire Education Services. NES is the overarching umbrella for all the services, including the traded services of Schools ICT, School Improvement, which I'm a Senior Education Advisor for, and various other services. So without further ado, let's get into Sway. Sway, you'll be quite pleased to hear, is one of the easiest and most swift ways of getting a newsletter off the ground. Before I go any further and showing you how to get here, we've got to show you how to log in. So I always start the same way. I'll open a new window here. And to get to Sway, it's part of the Microsoft 365 suite of tools. So you get there by typing in office.com in your web browser and hitting the enter button, and you'll get taken to this page. Once you're on this page, you can click on sign in. And then sign in username and password, and it will open up your access at your home of your Office 365 account. So I'm going to close that down. So the home page looks a bit like this. You may have a different one which looks like this instead, which has all the apps, but either way, it's the same layout. If you click on home, you will see documents which you've got access to, and if you click on the icon at the bottom, which is like 4 little boxes with one wonky one, then that brings you to the menu for all the apps. And Sway is not one of the top ones, but it's pretty close. So on my side menu here, it's not on these immediate 10. SharePoint is one of the S in there, but if I scroll down slightly, Sway is the one immediately after Teams. If I didn't want to find Sway there, if I click on that all apps menu button there, then I can have a look through here and I can look for Sway. And again, I scroll down slightly past the first page and Sway is just beneath SharePoint. They're in alphabetical order on this big screen here, so it's easier to find it. But to find Sway, just look for it there, look for it on the side, and then click on the icon. So Sway is an interesting tool. It's a lovely way. People find it very difficult to figure out what Sway is and what Sway does. And this is because there's a lot of similarities with PowerPoint. So PowerPoint is a presentation tool. You'd use PowerPoint well if you were going to be presenting information either live or online, and you'd be talking through the resource at the same time. So you'd be talking through it. You don't necessarily read the bullet points out, but you do need to get a lot of content across. So the presentations in PowerPoint are all designed to be facilitated by a human being, or at least a presenter of some sort. With Sway, it's more about visualizing your content in a way where the content stands alone. So it's looking at newsletters and handouts and resources, which you will not be having a guide through. So the real person will not be there to talk you through, change your slides and so on. So that's what Sway is all about. It's about swaying the audience instead of pointing them at the power of your speech. Okay, so Sway instead of PowerPoint, very similar but different tools. In a previous session, I have talked about PowerPoint 365 and the tools you can use there. But in Sway 365, it's just called Sway, sorry, it's far easier to get started. I'm going to open up a document on my desktop, which is I've got a folder here, which is my Sway demonstration folder. And inside I've got some example documents, but I'm not going to use these. But you can import a PowerPoint or a Word document into Sway. What I've got here is I've got 2 Word documents. One of them is just a list of nonsense text. It's just Laura Mipsum text. We'll use this for filling in the gaps because I haven't written an entire school newsletter just for this purpose. The other one is this school news draft. So I've created a draft newsletter. Now I'm sure that many of you will be familiar with writing a newsletter for school. I've done a very big, I'm calling myself the head teacher here, but I've done a very big photo of myself. I've put in a bit of information about myself, some lorem, some gaps there. Okay, that should be headsets. So you're all familiar with looking at Word documents, changing things around. And as I zoom in and out, I can see the next picture, the next title, the next story. The next picture, the next title, the next story. You can tell I've written this in a rush because there's so many typos in here. Innovative educator expert. And then we carry on with more lorem text to fill in the gaps. You'll notice there's different fonts being used on this paragraph and this paragraph. You'll notice that there's I've used the heading 2 and heading 1 earlier on. I've got pictures in there. Now, to make this into a newsletter, it would be a bit of a nightmare because to make a newsletter out of it, I've got to then go through each of these images and resize them, not just looking at the typos, but I've got to try and resize these things and make sure it all makes sense in the flow of it, put borders on, everything else. We don't have a Thursday, we have a Friday, and that'll do. I'm going to save that Word document for now. It's my school news draft, and just look at it. It is 5 pages long. It is pictures and words. I can probably condense it down a little bit and change the picture size, but it's pretty standard for a school newsletter. I'm going to make this better with very little effort and very little time. So let's have a look at it and see what it looks like in Sway. On Sway here, I'm going to start from an existing document. So this button here on Sway will save your life if you've already got a draft newsletter in Word. It can also upload from PowerPoint, but I'll click on the button and it'll show us what to do. So Sway here brings us through. I've got to find my folder, so it's desktop, and it is in my Sway demo folder. Wonder why it's there. And then I've got different points. I can hear some questions coming through in the chat or some pings in the chat. I'll not respond to them till the end of the demonstration, but thank you. As we go through here, we can see my school news draft. I'm going to click on that and open it. Now this is opening in Sway, and Sway is popping up straight away. It says it's making me a Sway web page. Okay. Don't be scared. It's called a web page because it's based on the internet, but you don't have to do anything technical at all to make this work. It's just an online tool with a web link which can get you there. That's all it's doing. So there you go. I've now suddenly got, in the 20 seconds or so, I've now got GT School News. I've got my introduction picture and the text there. It's got the new title in, VR headsets in school, and the text there with the picture sized appropriately. It's got the new title. It's got my description here. It's got a picture in place. And I carry on going through and I can see each section is now really clear and really well pictured. Lost in space with a teddy bear. I went to bed and I saw, and the pictures. It's got the final notices there and we're done. I could just leave it there, but that'd be an incredibly short 21-minute session. So I'm going to carry on a little bit further. Up in the top right hand side of this Sway, I've got an edit, I've got a share, I've got a cog, and I've got 3 dots. Now I'm curious, and I always like to click on the 3 dots first because the 3 dots tend to give you more information. It's like right clicking on a tool when you're on a normal desktop app, but the 3 dots are like the equivalent of right clicking. And you can see here it's more information, it's more menus. So my Sway is create new, duplicate this Sway, and so on. So I've got all these tools, and you can now print Sways and make Sways work as a printed document as well, although you do lose hyperlinks and so on. If I clicked on the cog, I've got different things called autoplay settings, and one of these shows me the speed that it would slide through, or looping continuously if I wanted to have a slideshow. And these layouts allow me to click on a sideways scrolling, an up down, or a PowerPoint slides transition. So if I go on sideways scrolling and wait, now when I scroll my mouse wheel, it's going left to right. If you want to do something in school which involved a gallery of photographs, so for example, an art GCSE or an art display, you just have your gallery instantly by just uploading the pictures into Sway, and you've got your gallery. You just scroll along bit by bit, and it does it for you. It's wonderful. Okay, let's go back, click on the cog. Let's go to PowerPoint. So I want to present this at Parents' Evening, same device, same content, same tool. I click on that slideshow button instead. And now it's got the same spot where I was before. I've now got slide buttons down here, left and right, and I can go backwards and forwards through my slides. GT School News. It's not perfect, apart from when you see that picture. But then you do get a slide by slide layout of what's going on. This is quite good for when people want to get extra access to the text, but if they click on it, they can then see chapter by chapter, page by page, and they can jump to the right sections. Why would you use this view? Personally, if I was going to be sharing lots of children's stories, Each child's story could have its own page here, and you'd then have your own virtual book straight away of children's poetry or children's stories, and each story would be a separate page on Sway. Let's go back to the cog. I'm going to close this view, click on the cog, and then I'm going to go back to the scrolling up and down as default because most web pages scroll up and down. So there we go. You can see in Sway as well, because I've got these headlines in place, if I click on this menu down here, the navigation pane, I get the same view. I personally like having it scrolling up and down or left to right, depending on my visual need at the time. So that's the cog, and that's the dots. Beneath the cog here, layout, you've got animations on and off. If I turn off the animations on there, it doesn't make much difference, but you can put some animated content in place, and animations on or off does make a difference to those things. If you look at the titles, as I scroll down here, VR headsets just scrolls in. The next one, the picture scrolls in. Our new suite of Chromebooks scrolls in. Picture scrolls in. That's the animations. Let's turn them off. And it gets less jumpy and more consistent. That's what the animations on and off do. That's in Sway. It's just a tiny thing. It's up to you what you prefer. I personally tend to leave them on because it makes it a bit more dynamic, but it can make some people feel a bit upset when things start to appear. If I clicked on share, just like that, I could then share it with specific people or groups. Anyone with a link, are those my organization? So with the same @bit on the email address, they can receive it straight away. So I can make it internal to staff only. If I click on anyone with a link, I've suddenly got an emailable document or a link to parents or families with my school. My carers can receive this straight away, and I can invite them to view and just copy that link and paste it into the school tool for sending out text messages to parents. Suddenly I've now got my email newsletter has changed from email into a text with a link on. Sorted. I've reduced my email burden. You can also do things like getting visual links, which gives you a cheesy picture, but you can paste that into an email message. So if you really want to have it, you can do. I'm not going to do that. You can do Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn. You can link them to your accounts and do an immediate post. And then the final one is an embed code. So you can embed a Sway into something else. So if you have OneNote, for example, for your school, you can embed each of your Sways in turn, and then the Sways will become a scrolling part of that environment. Below the share, you've got more options, and you can have a password in there as well. So if you did want to have a protected Sway where the link's available, you can password protect it and allow people to then see the content only if they have a password. So it's a bit of a two-factor authentication going on there with the link and with the password. That's enough for now about the technical settings, apart from edit. So if I didn't like this look, I can change it. If I click on the edit pencil in the top right hand side in that Sway, I can change things. You'll see I get a second tier of menu coming up. Now the styles on the right hand side is what I'll look at first, but we've also got storyline and design on the left. The design is how it looks. Makes sense. And I've gone through some of the summary pages through the 3 dots and cog already. But if I click on styles over here, styles is a gross change to be done. Starting at the very bottom, you can see there's a 4 wide grid, which is, I think it's 6 tall. That's more than that now. So you've got many different styles. Now, a single click, you can get your style changed. So you might be able to find immediate color, which matches your school type, your school view. In one quick click, you're done. You can go for bold looks there, reds and oranges and so on. And if you chose to, you can pick a more handwritten style, but Sway does not allow you to do the fine tuning that PowerPoint does. Sway is a swiftly, automatically designing tool where you provide the content and it provides the design. So you can pick whatever you like to from that, from many of the presets. If you really wanted to, you can go up here and you can customize your Sway with custom colors, typography and textures. And in there, you get a whole suite of menus where you can pick fonts and so on, but I'm not going to cover that right now. OK, I've again got vertical, horizontal and slides scrolling. So I can see how that goes if I want to. If I don't know what I want to look at on the design, I can click on the styles and just remix. And Sway will just have a go and just make different stuff up. It'll colorize my pictures and add different effects as it goes. If I don't like it, I can remix again, and keep on going until I get bored or I like something. And you'll notice that each of these times it either changes vertical, horizontal, and slides, and it bounces it around different ideas. If I want to go back, I can just click on undo, and it undoes those changes I make. I can customize the sway if I want to as well. Okay, so here we go. Remixing is a quick button, and I've got these default templates here. If you can, for ease of use, just pick one of the default templates and just click on that straight away to match your school's needs, and you're sorted. So I've talked about design, and that's that's sideways scroll. That's going to annoy me, so I'm going to change it quickly. Vertical scrolling makes me happy. No problem at all. Okay, I'm going to go to storyline now. I haven't shown you storyline yet, and storyline is what got pulled in from that Word document. So as I click on storyline, you can see that Sway has taken that Word document and taken the main heading and put it in a heading section. It's taken that image and put it in what's called an image card, and then it's created cards for everything else. So why is it called cards? Well, if you imagine that you're going through the process of writing out revision cards, then that's what Sway is using. It's using these revision cards and it's putting them in place. You just put the text on it and don't worry about the formatting. Sway does all this for you as you go through the text cards and so on. Instead of demonstrating with this and the cards already existing, we're going to make a very quick Sway just for us. So I'm going to click on Sway at the top and it takes me away from my existing Sway, but that's my school newsletter. Let's make a new one. You'll see I can start from a topic if I want to. I'll start from a document, which I've just done. Starting from a topic, you can do dinosaurs. I like dinosaurs. Create an outline. And Sway will then give me a choice of what dinosaurs are. So National Geographic seems most sense to me. Sway will pull that information from the external website, put this in for me. And if I click on play, I can see that I've got my National Geographic dinosaurs. And it's all come through this way. So that's a bit boring, but I can add more content to it. Gives me links, it adds hints, and you can see here I can change things as we go. But I didn't want that. I want to make my own school newsletter. I can start from any topic I want to. That's no good. I'll click on those three dots and bin that dinosaurs. Yes, I want to delete it because it's no good for me. Create new. This is where you start in the storyline. This is what scares people quite a lot because you create from something brand new, fresh. I'm going to bounce between Sway and my Word document just to save me from having to type quite a lot of things. So where is my Word document? School news draft. There we go. So when I get my title here, I can just write down whatever I want to, but I'm just going to copy and paste it for speed because we've only got 21 minutes. And this time I'm going to make the background this picture. So I can just drag that picture and paste it into Sway. And Sway will do its thing. It'll take that picture and put it in. Okay, so oopsie daisy. There we go, GT School News. Okay, click on the background there. It'll give me some pictures options. I'll click on my device. You can drag them in as well. Okay, it puts the image in there and then gives you a choice of focus, but that's going to be enough for now. How do I add the next bit? Click on the big plus. I get to choose a heading or text types from here, from the suggested ones. I'm going to put text in there, but I'm now going to just go a bit different to what we've done before in this way. I'm going to pick up this Lorem Ipsum text here. I'm going to paste it into Sway. And then I'm going to add something new. Now, images and text you've seen already. It's fairly straightforward, but you've got other things you can do in Sway. You can upload. Okay, so an upload can be any document. So I'll put my school news draft in there and open. That's now created a document card which has got an upload of something on Sway, so I can now have the links attached, much like attaching things to emails. While that's thinking about that, you see it's just gone in and put it straight in. Okay. The next thing I can do is if I want to do something else, I can click on Stack. Now, Stack is a group of images, and I can make this have a big focus, which will take up most of the screen, a middle focus, which takes up a little bit of the screen, or minimal focus, which takes up a small amount of the screen. So I'm going to make it big. Add content. Where do I get my folder of pictures from? I'm going to go back to my images here. I'm going to pinch these pictures from before. Not that, that's a video. I'm going to drag them into Sway. 7 pictures going in. Now Sway just does this by itself. It takes a moment for the internet to catch up with what you've asked it to do, but that's a group stack. When it comes through, I can then look at something else. If I want to change any of these tools or bin them, I can just click on them and click on the bin in the corner. It gets rid of it. Okay. get rid of that school news. I just keep on clicking on delete and get rid of them. Right, Sway is just about caught up with my group stack there, and I'm going to put in one more thing after this group stack. So I'm going to go back to my text card. I'll put it in beforehand, and I've got a choice of image or stack or upload, but there's 4 categories here: suggested, text, media, and group. So media has got images and videos and audio and embed and upload. You can embed a YouTube video here. You can embed it from SoundCloud. You can embed a Microsoft form. You can embed anything you want to, as long as it's got an embed code. So if we looked at YouTube, we can just paste the embed code in this here, and we get the embedded video. Let's just look at that very quickly. YouTube is there. This may take too long, so let's just pick any video that we want to do, your videos. And just go to YouTube, and all you just collect the embed code. So this video here, and I can just select the embed code. So there's a video link there, and there's an embed code. Oh, it's not going to give me the sensible one. I'm just going to click on that to find the video. And then you get the embed code. Well, I know we're nearly done. I'm sorry about running over time slightly. Okay, copy embed code. That's very confusing for me. Copy the embed code. I'm going to go out of YouTube, back to Sway, and I just paste the embed code there. And I'll make it a bit bigger. And now let's see what it looks like. Design, styles, vertical. Give it a bit of blue to this one. Okay, I've now got my school news. What does it look like for everybody else? Here it is. I've now got my pictures being the focus with the title across the top. That's what the image card does. I've got the text beneath. I've got the video embedded in that Sway. I've got the photographs here. Now these are separate images, which I can look at, or if I want to quickly change it, I can make it into a stack. I'm just going to edit that storyline. And then if I make these images into a stack, all these images have gone in there. 2, 3, 4 images into that stack. And now if I play the Sway again, you'll see that I've now got a stack of pictures I can click on. Oops, daisy, I'm going a bit too fast for it. I can click on the pictures, and that Sway now has an interactive photograph stack done in seconds. That's how you use Microsoft Sway. That's as quick as I can make it, but hopefully it made a lot of sense. In 21 minutes, you've now learned how to use Microsoft Sway from importing a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation, or typing your own content into it and using the tools as it exists. Sway is an amazing tool. I really enjoy using it, and I hope you do too. It should save you a lot of time in preparing your staff and student newsletters, anything for your pupil communications, anything for parents, and especially celebration events like post-sports day when we get back to those, and also for supporting forms and You Said We Did survey responses and that sort of thing. I'm going to stop talking. If you've got any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you very much for turning up. It's been lovely seeing you all today as circles with initials on, and I will see you sometime soon.